This time, I introduce to you Gary Harvin, our Executive Secretary.
Rick, thank you very much. That was quite adequate. Thank you. All those accomplishments at TRS that we've been able to make have been done because you have a great team of people working for you at TRS. It always gives me great pleasure to go out and talk to retired teachers because I get feedback of how good a job those people are doing for you and how easy it is to get something accomplished at TRS. And many of you have probably heard this example that I used. I once was going to a fellow for my back pain, a doctor, and his wife was a nurse teaching over to Eastern Kentucky University. And she was in our system, and she had just retired. I went in to see him, and he said, my wife just was visiting you all the other day and was getting retirement. And I said, oh, how did it go? He said, well, he said, she came home and said it wasn't like dealing with a government agency at all. That is a high compliment. We try to cut out the bureaucracy as much as we can and to serve you as well as we can. So thank you all for working with us and achieving your retirement and getting your health benefits. But we do have a great team at TRS, so thank you all very much. I've got a bit of a presentation here, but first I wanted to talk a bit about the spring in Kentucky. It's particularly beautiful this year. I know we've just come through floods and things like that, but I always marvel every year. I'm from Kentucky, from Hodgenville, and I always marvel every year as to how beautiful Kentucky is in the spring, and it's just particularly beautiful this year. We were noting that last night as we were going over to Lexington to celebrate my wife's birthday and her twin sister's birthday. My wife's twin sister is a retired teacher, and both my wife and her twin sister are married to Gary's. And I can't tell their voices apart on the telephone, so it always makes it interesting whenever I get dressed down by both of them, basically. But it was a fun time last night, a lot of fun. I told my wife I wouldn't reveal her age, but we celebrated her 40th birthday 25 times. But that's not her age. She's much younger than that. So, let's jump in and look at some things about your system. I know we're in turbulent times now. We've been in turbulent times before, and we've always made it through just fine. And we'll do it again this time. With all the tariffs and the things that are going on, we'll get through fine. Because we're long-term investors, as I tell everyone that will listen, and when I'm bragging about our staff and the way we handle things, we wake up every morning to invest like we're 35 years old, looking 20 years into the future. So that's the way we handle your investments because of the ongoing nature of the pension plan. We have new teachers that are just starting probably today. We probably got a new teacher just been hired today. And we have teachers that are retiring today. So, but the ongoing nature makes it easy to invest long term, and that's our practice, is to invest long term. Market turmoil like this many times presents opportunities. And we may have short-term losses as a result of this market turmoil, but we came out of the last Great Recession and we've outperformed most public pension plans in the nation since then. So, it's a rebalancing process that we go through daily at TRS. We're there, we have a simple slogan that we operate under, and that's, we have wonderful people that we're working for, you, and so we strive every day to do it right, to provide you your security for both your retirement and your health care by doing it right. And we do that by constant improvement. We work together as a team. We use the theory of Kaizen, and we try to constantly improve our service to you so that there is no big cliff or something that we have to repair that causes us to tear up I-64 and add lanes and create log jams. I drove down 64 on the way here today, so. But this is the reason that we're able to work together as a team and why your system is so strong and one of the best retirement systems in the nation. It's your board of trustees. Your board of trustees, and there's we have trustees here, current trustees at the front table that have been introduced earlier. We also have many trustees out in the audience today. And these people do a great job for you. And you elect 7 out of the 11 members to our board of trustees. So there is a clear understanding of our purpose. There's no bifurcation of our focus. We don't focus on anything else but preserving your assets and taking care of you. So that is the board of trustees that we have. Brenda McGowan is our chair from Bowling Green, does a wonderful job. Dr. Ben Littlepage was introduced a little earlier today from down in Murray. Does a great job for us in Murray. Paul Bruce, our lay trustee from here in Louisville, does a wonderful job for you, and all the others, Bill Crawford, Robbie Fletcher, Hollis Scritton, Mark Metcalf, Laura Schneider, Liz Strong, Josh Underwood, and Allie Wright are all great trustees, and we've been blessed with great trustees at TRS all along, and we know our purpose because you elect those. Now, I say that because we're in the middle of election. Every year this time in April and May, we hold trustee election. Because we have staggered terms there, it makes sure we have continuity of leadership at TRS. So if you've voted already electronically, great. If you haven't, you'll be getting a paper ballot here shortly. Take the time to fill that ballot out and send it back. We have great candidates on that ballot, whatever you vote. But please vote. It lets people know, i.e. the legislature and the governor, it lets them know how much you care about your pension plan and about your governance structure that you have that makes your pension plan so strong. So do take the time to vote. Those numbers of people that vote are extremely important. So please do that. Here are the candidates this year for trustee election. We have 2 candidates for active teacher trustee, Laura Schneider, Daryl Dixon, and for our retired teacher trustee, Brenda McGowan and Michelle Porter. So great selections there, but do please vote. I'm going to hit a little bit here on our investment performance, and this is as of June 30th of last year. Numbers change every day in the investment world. So what we try to do when we're making our presentations is to give a consistent message a year at a time. Day-to-day fluctuations in the market mean little to the overall soundness of the system. It's the long-term returns that are very, very important. Last year, we were in the top 10% in the nation of public pension plans with a 12.27% return. Now, our three-year number, 2022, that includes 2022, we didn't have a good 2022, so we were only in the top 41% for the three-year number. The five-year number is 8.81%. The 10-year number is 7.94%, that's an extremely important number because that's the compound rate of return that we've earned for the last 10 years, 7.94%. And that puts us in the top 8% in the nation over that 10-year period in the investment performance. And this comes directly from your board of trustees, the investment committee of your board of trustees, our investment team, and the abilities that we have by using the outside people that the board members have hired to help them on the investment committee. All of this is a joint effort to get those investments and get them right. So great job there for our investment committee of the board. What does this mean? This outperformance? Well, it means since the Great Recession that we have outperformed the average public pension plan by over $6 billion in assets. We've created $6 billion more in assets since 2008 with the contributions that we have coming in and the benefits that we have going out and our asset base at the time in 2008. We've generated $6.1 billion more in assets than the average public pension plan. That's what your board of trustees does to create investment returns that guarantee your retirement future. That's how important your board of trustees is. There is always a discussion about how much money comes out of the general fund to fund TRS. And as you all know, the ones of you that have listened to me over the years, there was a period of time, 13 years, that we weren't getting the necessary contributions from the state in order to fund the pension plan. During that period of time, our funding level dropped down into the low 50% range. We've got that back up close to 60% now on our funded ratio. But the most important thing is that we're now in the budget. The contributions are coming in. The important thing going forward as the state, in its efforts to take away the income tax for the state, it's very important that they don't lose their focus in funding the pension plan. I don't feel they will, but I just wanted to bring that up. They've done a wonderful job over the last decade in funding your pension plan. And in 19 years, your pension plan will be fully funded. In 19 years, if they keep up that same effort. But we don't want them to lose their focus in their efforts to do other things. But that is extremely important. But in 19 years, if we earn 7.1%, we'll be fully funded in the pension plan. And over the long term, we've earned closer to 8% compounded over the long term. So 7.1 is very achievable. Now, why is this important? Because your pension plan replaces Social Security. And there's been a lot of things, positive things going on with Social Security that happened at the end of last year. And we'll talk about those just a bit. But replacing Social Security is the goal of this pension plan and has been since it was formed in 1940. Teachers weren't allowed into Social Security when it was formed in 1935. It wasn't until around 1955, that Social Security allowed teachers into pension plans, and states had to elect their teachers into Social Security in 55. This state and 14 others decided that the pension plans that they had going were a better solution for teachers than Social Security, and that's proven to be the case. The cost of the new tier, TRS 4, is about the same as the cost of Social Security, and the benefit is 4 times as great as Social Security. And we have the cash to take care of the benefit. TRS 4 right now is well funded with the contribution rates coming in and the returns that we've gotten. TRS 4 is well funded and well on the way to doing what it was intended to do, and that is to continue replacing Social Security. You know, Social Security was never meant to be a retirement plan. It was a foundational benefit to keep people out of poverty after the Great Depression. And it's done that very well. I think the combination of Social Security and pension plans that weren't around during the Great Depression, combination of Social Security and pension plans are why the Great Recession wasn't another Great Depression. We continued sending the same amount and more out each month to teachers during the Great Recession as we had the year before. That really supports the economy of the state. We send out over $2 billion a year in benefits to teachers that stay in this state, that retire in this state. So that's an important foundation to the economy of Kentucky. What would a $2 billion employer mean to the state of Kentucky if we had a $2 billion employer? Well, that's what you are, drawing your pension checks. And 70% of that pension check comes from those investment earnings. 30% is contributions you and your employers put in. The 70% is those investment earnings on that. Thing about Social Security is that it wasn't meant to be a pension plan, and it's not in great shape right now. 2034 is when Social Security runs out of money. It won't have enough money to pay full benefits in 2034. That's 9 years from now. So think about that. But we did get the repeal of GPO and WIP. And I hope that all of you that have a benefit that's been reduced or was eliminated with GPO and WIP, I hope all of you have contacted the Social Security Administration and have gotten that started or adjusted. One thing I do want to remind you that if you've got a Social Security benefit coming, they're probably withholding your Medicare Part B premium from that Social Security check, maybe for the first time. And if you were paying that benefit with a bank deposit or a bank withdrawal out of your checking account, make sure they're not getting both of those. So get a hold of Social Security or your bank and make sure you get that piece of that sorted if you haven't done so. One thing about Social Security is that if somewhere back during your career you were married to a rascal and got rid of him or her, you can still draw your Social Security benefit on them if that's the only rascal that you had that had Social Security. So don't forget that while you're out there. Now, I was talking a little earlier about TRS-4. TRS-4 is a great benefit for teachers in Kentucky, new teachers, after January 1, 2022. And this benefit has two portions to it. It's a foundational benefit, and I was talking to a retiree a little earlier that's on the school board before the meeting. And the superintendent there in her district thinks that TRS-4 isn't a defined benefit plan. It is. The most of the benefit in TRS-4 is a defined contribution plan, just like you have. But this plan also has a defined contribution component. Most of the contributions, employee and employer that come in, go into the defined benefit side, and it gives a guaranteed benefit for life, just like you've got. And then there's the foundational component of it, where 2% of their salary, teacher salaries, is matched by 2% from the state, and that goes into the defined contribution benefit. And the teacher that starts and gets in TRS 4 after 5 years, vests in the state's contribution into that plan. So if for whatever reason they want to refund their money, they get both their contribution and the state contribution after 5 years. But this design, this plan design, has received national recognition from both the Pew Charitable Trusts, which I have some respect for, and I say that marginally because some of the things that Pew puts out I don't have respect for. But the National Institute on Retirement Security has also awarded this plan design as a good plan design for teachers. And I do have great respect for that because the National Council of Teachers Retirement System formed this organization back when I was president of that organization. So this is the think tank that public teachers' pension plans around the country form. And they've looked at this, and this TRS 4 is a good benefit for active teachers. So I know that it's not the same benefit as TRS 1, 2, and 3 provide, but it is really a good benefit. And you'll find it's very competitive with any benefits around the country. I want to talk just a bit about shared responsibility. It's been very successful in providing for your medical benefits since 2010. Before 2010, the medical benefit was going away. The state of Kentucky couldn't afford to pay retired teachers' health care benefits. In fact, they were taking contributions from the pension plan, actually borrowing contributions that should be in the pension plan, and funding retiree health care with those contributions, and then agreeing to pay the pension plan back over a 10-year period at our assumed rate of return, which at the time was 7.5%. It's kind of like borrowing money to buy your groceries. That debt kept building up. And when we finally saw the direction this was going, the Board of Trustees had us get together and try to come with a solution with all the constituency groups, education constituency groups, both active and retired, to come with a solution. And you did. All the constituency groups got together and we gave them the facts. They came to a solution that has proved to be very beneficial. Now we've got it set so that much of your medical benefit is going to be covered by the investment earnings on these contributions that come in. And this plan right now is about 80% funded and slated to be fully funded before the market drop. Slated to be fully funded in about 3 years. And then we, and it took a great deal of liability off the taxpayers, and it ensured your benefit, and it got the contributions flowing back to the pension plan in order to secure your retirement benefit too. So that's worked out very well. You can see how the funding levels on this chart, how the funding levels have risen since 2010 when shared responsibility became law to where they are today. There was a House bill passed this session that did change the conditions for what happens to the contributions after this plan becomes 100% funded. Now, 100% funded, your medical benefit is much harder to predict how much that's going to cost into the future than your pension benefit is, because of the rapid cost of specialty drugs is a big driver. 2% of our medications are specialty drugs that account for 50% of our prescription benefit costs. 2% of the medications are 50% of the costs. So, and we don't know where all that's going. The other thing one of the things that has been a real nice tailwind to the funded level of your medical benefit is that we're now getting federal Medicare subsidies for the kind of medical benefit that you provide, that you are providing. So those Medicare supplements are coming in to the tune of $75 million a year into your medical trust. That wasn't there whenever shared responsibility was designed. Another thing that we're getting now is 100% of the formulary rebates from the prescription drugs that we now buy through the Know Your Rx Coalition. And we buy them at a discount through the Know Your Rx Coalition, but we're getting $75 million in formulary rebates. That's $150 million a year coming into this trust that weren't there when this plan was designed in 2010. Those things can all change. That part of that funding can change quickly in Washington. So, as I said, reaching 100% funded is not fully funded for the medical benefit. We need to be more like 125 to 150% funded there in order to guarantee that benefit. So when we hit 100% funded in that benefit in 3 years, we still have some work to do. Right now, the legislation that is passed in House Bill 694 says that when the medical benefit reaches at least 100% funded, then the contributions that the employers, the school districts, are putting into the plan, which is 3% of teachers' pay, that those contributions from the employer now will go to the pension plan to pay off the pension benefits. The way the plan was originally designed was when the actuary determined, the teacher's system's actuary determined that the medical benefit was funded to a level that was safe, then contributions could be reduced, both to active teachers and to the school districts in equal measure. Right now, school districts put in 3%, and teachers are putting in an additional 3% over the 0.75 they were putting in before shared responsibility came in. So those contributions are supposed to come down equally. And then when the contributions got to the level that they were equal with what the state was putting in, contributions from the state, the retired teachers, the active teachers, and the school districts could all come down equally. So that's been changed now with House Bill 694. And now, whenever the system or the benefit is at least 100% funded, those employer contributions, that 3% will then go to the pension plan until the pension plan is 100% funded. And that's 19 years rather than 3. And the teachers will continue contributing to the medical trust until the pension plan is fully funded. So that's a significant change in how shared responsibility is to be administered. Now, the sponsor of this legislation said he welcomed a group of representatives from the education with information and facts and actuarial analysis and whatever is needed if you choose to do that. We would like to talk about that with the plan sponsor. One of the things that I'm really proud of that Jane Gilbert, that is, as most of you know, Jane Gilbert, our longtime director of retiree healthcare, retired in February. And when she retired, I told Jane this was like Hotel California, that you can check out, but you can never leave. So we're hoping to talk to Jane possibly about helping this continue into the future, because she has a vast wealth of knowledge about Medicare Advantage, about the prescription drug program, and about your medical benefit, and was there whenever we came up with this shared responsibility solution. and was there whenever we formed this Know Your Arts Coalition with the University of Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky University and University of Louisville. This coalition has really grown since we formed this back in 2012. We're now up to 225,000 covered lives through this. Retired teachers make up about 32,000 of those 225,000 covered lives. Whenever the coalition was formed, we made up half of the population of the Know Your Arts Coalition. Now you can see we're less than, less than 15%, somewhere around there, of the population here. And we've gone from having 2 pharmacists on staff to 13 full-time pharmacists on staff to help you with your prescription drug benefits and things. And another thing that's occurred in 2017, we started a pilot program on personalized medicine. I'm happy to say we've hit an important milestone here. We now have 10,000 of the 32,000 members that are in this medical benefit. 10,000 have elected to take this DNA test to help them manage their prescription drugs. And how important is that? It's extremely important. These are the conditions, and these are the medical conditions and our top drugs, 20 top drugs taken by our retired members, like the atorvastatin, metoprolol, rosuvastatin, omeprazole. I can't, These are all made up names anyway. But these medications don't work for all of us. Atorvastatin doesn't, I can say it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. So I was prescribed that and had it for 2 years before my DNA test told me that it didn't work for me. Great. Well, now I'll give you something that works, So I did. I got something that works. But all of these drugs work differently. For example, right now, GLP-1s are the rage. They only work for 38% of the population. You don't see that in the prescription drug ads on TV. What you see is people dancing. But they don't tell you that 62% of the people in the country, this isn't going to help you any, and they're extremely expensive drugs. So this benefit that we have for you gives you the ability to use precision medicine to your benefit. You'll have fewer slip and falls, you'll have fewer emergency room visits, and you'll save money out of your pocket in your co-pays on your medicines by using this, by utilizing this. And it's something that all of you can decide to do or not do. It's not required, it's just a benefit there for you. So at our desk and at the Know Your Arts Coalition desk outside today, we have this slide available for you that have these prescription drugs and all of these disease states that this DNA test will give you information about. So if you've got any questions or anything, feel free to call the pharmacist there at Know Your Arts Coalition, and we've got their information here and on, let's see, yeah, that's where the information is. It's on this slide. That information's there. You can get it out at the Know Your Arts Coalition. Just talk with them about it. Ask the pharmacist there about this. So if that's available to you, if you choose to use it. I'm going to wrap up now by again thanking you. It's a great honor to work for you. It's a great honor to work for our Board of Trustees that you elect. And it's a great privilege to work with the staff that we have at TRS in providing you your benefits. So enjoy the springtime weather. Thank you all very much.